everyone, Diane here, welcome to my channel. Today is a rainy day in Brittany, another one. And this morning, before it was light, I created this painting, which is a sunset over a beach with a bonfire on it. And this painting is up as a members only pre-availability. I might not make this available to everybody as we go forward. But it was a very quick sketch, and it just so happened that the sky turned out rather well, and maybe you might like to see me painting that. So if you want to join Patreon or join our YouTube membership, that would give you access to this straight away. Otherwise, you might have to keep on checking back until I put this up as public viewing on YouTube. So in the meantime, today I'm going to paint something else for you with my Kuretake set and possibly the addition of a little bit of gouache. Gouache is interesting because it's opaque watercolor, except when it isn't. When it isn't, it's opaque acrylic, and I haven't actually used acrylic gouache yet. I think I might get a bit confused if I started to add something like that to my armory of materials, because it doesn't accept re-wetting. If it's acrylic gouache is like acrylic paint in general, and it doesn't like drying out. If it dries out, that's it, it's done. It turns into a lump of plastic. And that's the thing with acrylic, obviously, amazingly enough, it's plastic, basically. You're painting as if you were painting the walls in your house when you use acrylic. So I tend to steer clear of it, actually. I try to stick with watercolor, or at the very least, watercolor gouache, which is always reactivatable with water. So we're all about authenticity here, aren't we? This is a piece of Meeden watercolor paper. This is 10 by 7 inches. It's 140 pounds. It's cotton. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I don't know really what to do today. So I think I'm going to do some doodly flowers or something like that. I've got, somebody said to me the other day, I like your brushes. I've just got your set of brushes, you know, these ones, the Craftamo ones. And we've sold, I think 700 sets of these now. It's amazing, actually. And there's still a few. There's a few remaining. If you go to craftamo.com, you will see these brushes available there. We've got a 1 inch flat. We've got a 1/2 inch cat's tongue. We've got a 3/4 inch mop. And we've got 3 sizes of round, a 4, a 7, and a 14. And a very, very good selection of brushes there for everyday painting. Everything you might possibly need for a very reasonable price. And they're excellent quality. If you look at the reviews on Craftamo for these brushes, the ones that they did for me, to my design, I decided what to do. You know, the size, the kind of hair, how long the hair should be, the colour of the handles. Everything was up to me, which is great. Never expected to have something like that happen in my life. There's a lot of things that are happening in my life that I did never expect, but at the moment, most of them are quite good. Anyway, so, oh yes, I was going to say, this lady said, I've got your brushes, but I'm just wondering why you never paint with them. Well, that's not entirely true, I do. But sometimes I am a human being, as you probably know. And occasionally I like to do things that I'm not being told I have to do. So anyway, sometimes I use my Drawell brushes, which are my favourites. I love these brushes. They came to me many years ago when I did a course with Hugh Brading from New Zealand, and he used them. They come from Japan. And when I started to use these brushes, I felt that my painting style improved hugely. It seemed to make a massive difference. I'm just messing around here. I'm just messing around. So you could call this a warm-up if you like. I'm just dropping paint onto the page. I'm going to go to green now. And that's a very dark green, greeny blue. Don't know if that's the colour I want. Let's put some yellow in it. Okay, so let's put some leaves for these tulips. That's what they are. At this point, you don't know if painting is going to go abstract or whether it's going to be realistic or whether it's going to be a bit of both. And let's put a bit more dark turquoisey blue into these leaves. There's a lot of pleasure to be had from just literally dropping paint in and letting it run like that. Don't mess with it though, don't fiddle. Fiddling is death to a painting. Now I'm going to put in a vase or a vase, and I'm going to do it in blue and white stripes. So let's put some blue and white stripes like that. Okay, and then that's ultramarine pale. So I just want to make that a little bit darker. So I'll go to the ordinary ultramarine. Try not to dip my brush into my coffee. At this point, this paint, when you use it thick like this, is quite like gouache. But when you add a lot of water, it becomes just watercolour. And then we will look at that and say to ourselves, that needs to come up a bit higher. And the whole thing needs to be a bit wider. And then we need some shadow for the table, like that. I should have a tissue in my hand really, so that I can suck the water off of my brush for this purpose here. Doing some thirsty brush work. Okay, and then I'm going to dry this and then paint a background. So bear with me and I put my hairdryer on. Okay, so that's dry now, and I'm going to now, I think I'm going to add a bit of red. I think I'm going to pick up a bit of red. Yes, this is the colour that Kuretake call red, so we're just going to add some red to these flowers. The painting will become a lot looser if you use a bigger brush. right? I think you'll find that that will be the case. So I've got all my tulips here in a nice cluster in the middle. We've got some, they're glowing, you know, the glowing energy is coming out of them in the yellow, which is kind of vibrating out, which gives us a nice sense of life, I think. And the colour from the blue vase is reflecting up onto the leaves. And I think we can probably, at this point you could say, okay, I'm going to paint in a background. You could do that, and I think what I would be inclined to do is go for a dark blue. I think, probably. Of course, if I was a modern woman, if I was a young person at this stage, I would scan this painting and I would put it on Procreate, for example, and I would ruin my eyesight a little bit more than I already had, and I would put a background in to see what it would look like, and then, so I might put a blue one in, and then I would say, oh, I'm not so sure about that. I'll change that, and I would put a green background or a yellow or a black or whatever, and I would do 20 different things, and I would end up feeling very depressed, because I would know that perfection was never going to come, and what was the point in doing the painting anyway? It's a very good question. The point, in my opinion, for us, the point in doing the painting is to experience colour, and that's all. There's no other point. There's no point in trying to be perfect. What's the point in that? So if I paint a dark blue background and it doesn't look right, then I'll just have to do the painting again, and that will be fun to do it again. Or I might not do anything. I might just leave it like that. Or I might kind of wimp out and just do a pale background, like in a light grey or something like that. The other thing that I could do at this point is I could do some ink work on it. I could outline the vase and the leaves, and I could doodle on it. I could do lots of different things. But I'm not sure. I could do spatter. That's the thing. You could do lots of different things. And if I was to put it on the computer, I could play with all of those things, and I'd probably have some fun. But I'm not so sure that that's what I want to do. I'm struggling here to make my mind up. So what shall I do? Shall I go crazy and come in with some dark blue? Why not? What colour shall I use? Could use indigo. Could use purple. Could use turquoise blue. No, that's too weak. Cerulean. It's interesting. Let me turn this around so you can see. We've got cerulean. There's cobalt. I don't know that there's enough contrast there. We've got Prussian blue. I'm going to do it in Prussian blue. I just want to mention briefly our sponsor for today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is a wonderful online learning resource with tens of thousands of video courses available for members to enjoy unlimited access to. You don't pay for each course you follow, you just pay a monthly or annual subscription. All the video classes they offer are of a high standard with no adverts in them, and more are being added every month, covering every interest and skill from accounting to cooking and computer programming. This month I've discovered Peggy Dean, who's a great teacher, artist and author of many books, and she has a fun website called Pigeon Letters. In this course, Peggy introduces the wonderful world of painting florals with gouache, which is a type of paint which is right on trend at the moment. Her projects are inspiring and up to date, and just right for when you feel like exploring a new angle in your art journey. So why not take advantage of the month's free membership and use it to explore and find out whether Skillshare is for you? Just follow the link in the description below this video. The first 500 people to sign up can benefit from this offer. And now let's return to our painting for today. Okay, so I'm going to go round, not touching, but near. I'm going to use plenty of colour. And I'm not going to worry about whether or not it's completely even. And as you can see, I'm using a biggish brush. Because we don't want to have too many brush marks. Okay. The advantage, of course, of doing something like this is that you can, if you feel that one of your leaves was a bit fat, you can just slim it down a bit like that with the dark colour. I'm going to turn this round this way. This is quite well, you want to actually concentrate a little bit when you're doing this, I think. This is not the moment to start talking about life in general or anything else. Come to that. Perhaps. Or maybe it is. Perhaps concentration doesn't require you to be silent. I don't know. There's not a lot of silence in the world today, is there? Notice that. Yes, we're coming on. We have to try not to put our hand in the paint, partly because if we get paint all over ourselves, we make a mess. And it might spoil the effect. I don't know. Not sure whether there's anything to worry about as far as spoiling the effect is concerned. But a lot of times people say, oh, I don't know how to do backgrounds. What do I do for a background? And the thing is, what you do for a background is you be brave. And you say, I think I mentioned this before, once a teacher I had said, don't fall in love with your painting or a part of your painting. And what he meant was, don't sacrifice the rest of it for the sake of keeping one bit that happens to have worked well. Perhaps by chance, perhaps by design. But always be prepared to move your painting forward by taking chances, which is what we're doing here. And if at the end you say to yourself, oh, I would have preferred that if I'd have left it without the background, then fine, do it again. What have you lost apart from a piece of paper? You haven't lost that anyway, because somebody is going to come to you and say, ah, I really love your tulips with the dark blue background. You will, guaranteed. And if by chance it doesn't work out the way you hoped it would, let's say, then you can go over it with pen. You can do some doodles. Why not? I think that leaf is too long, so I'm going to bring that one down here. See, you can do that. Just trim the leaf off a bit. It's better. That's fun. If you give this a go, you'll enjoy it, guaranteed. And you could also, you might want to sharpen up your vase a little bit by bringing in some more colour for your stripes. And you might just put a little bit more grey shadow underneath there to that might not be the right colour, but we'll see what that looks like when that's drying. So there we are. One painting of some very bright and cheerful tulips. Didn't know I was going to do that today. I'm going to dry it and then I'm going to come back. So I've popped this painting into a frame just so that you can see what it looks like. I'm sorry about the reflections, but I think that makes quite a striking kind of point, if you see what I mean, and I'm quite pleased with that. Here are a few of the other things that I've done recently with you, some that I've done that I haven't done with you, and there's our guardian angel looking over us, and various other things here, a teddy bear from Sylvia in Germany, and a stuffed owl. You see this one? I learned how to do that from Jada Campbell. And there we are. There's my daughter when she graduated from high school. Anyway, I digress. But yes, if you like what you've seen today, give us a like and subscribe, leave a comment, and join us on Patreon or on here, YouTube membership. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. So I will say bye-bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye from my tulips, and look forward to the next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.